Let me get my video going. Yeah.
Yeah, is Craig videoing again this year?
Yes.
That's still on YouTube, you know.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Ooh, a coaster.
I like Craig's
Oh, really? I didn't. Mike, which way you facing then?
I don't know. Yeah, probably randomly all around the room.
Attention, attention.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the long-anticipated arrival of spring, and with it the life-restoring powers of Bock. Bock is the tonic of spring, the elixir of life, the restorer of life after too many Bocks have been quaffed. The beer style that we now know as Bock was a dark, malty, lightly hopped ale first brewed in the 14th century in the town of Einbeck, Germany. This style from Einbeck was later adopted by Munich brewers in the 17th century and adapted to their new lager style of brewing. Now, you may judge this Bock. According to the official style guidelines of the Beer Judge Certification Program, a traditional Bock should be a dark, strong, malty lager beer. It should have the following characteristics: a strong malt aroma, often with moderate amounts of rich melanoidins. Can you taste melanoidins in that?
Here. Yes. Lovely melanoidins.
Toasty overtones, but virtually no hop aroma. Some alcohol may be noticeable. It should have a clean taste, no diacetyl, and low to no fruity esters. So keep your fruity esters out of our beer for this one. It should be a light copper to brown color, often with attractive garnet highlights. We were admiring the garnet highlights earlier. Yeah, see, hold it up to the light, you can see the garnet highlights. That's very lovely. The lagering should provide good clarity despite its dark color. It will have a large, creamy, persistent off-white head, which it does. And for those of you into the technical aspects of brewing, it should have a color of SRM between 14 and 22. Have you measured this? Do you know what an SRM is?
If I had to guess, it would be...
it's probably about 18.
12, 13.
12, you think? It's that low? So you're not as dark as some of the traditional Bocks, then, is that it? Okay. The complex maltiness is dominated by the rich flavors of Munich and Vienna malts, which contribute those melanoidins and toasty flavors. What kind of malts did you use in yours?
Pilsner, Munich, a little bit of Cara Munich, and some melanoidin malt.
Yeah, melanoidin. Yeah, there you go.
That's the melanoidin. That's the word of the day.
Some caramel notes may be present from decoction mashing and a long boil. Did you use a decoction mash?
Yeah, I used a long boil.
A long boil, okay, there you go. The hop bitterness is generally only high enough to support those malt flavors, allowing a bit of sweetness to linger into the finish. It should be well attenuated, not cloying, clean with no esters or diacetyl, no hop flavor, and no roasted or burnt character. Which, of course, the Irish love that toasty burnt character in our stouts, so we put up with Bock as well. The medium to medium fully bodied mouthfeel should be accompanied by moderate to moderately low carbonation. There may be some alcohol warmth, but it should never be hot, smooth, without harshness or astringency. Now, of course, this only applies to the traditional Bock. It does not take into account the Maibock, the Hellesbock, the Doppelbock, Eisbock, or other styles that any particular brewer may favor. Bock beer has been the subject of much speculation over the centuries. One popular story is that Bock came from the stuff that brewers cleaned out from the bottom of their brewing vats. It was served only once a year because that's when the brewer cleaned out the tank. Of course, we know that's not true here. Adam cleans his tanks at least twice a year. I've talked to him about this. So this is not the scum that's left over after they take off the IPA, for those of you hopheads, right? The other story is that there are several stories actually about Bock. None of them are written in stone, so pick whichever one you like the best. One thing that's fairly certain is that Bock beer originated in the German town of Einbeck. In the 14th century, Einbeck had become a famous brewing center. It was known for its powerful dark beers. Because they had a high alcoholic strength, they traveled well, and so they could import them to other parts of the country. Because they were viewed as a high-quality product, there was a strong demand for them that assured the success of Einbeck's brewers, and Einbeck beers were sold as far away as the Netherlands and Scandinavia. Some contend that the name of Bock actually derived from a corruption of the name of the town, Einbeck. Einbeck, Einbock, who's going to notice? There's enough evidence actually to lend credence to this theory. According to the story, when the beer came to their city, the citizens of Munich, with their Bavarian accents, because you know Munich is the capital of Bavaria, Bayern Munich, they pronounced it wrong. They couldn't say Einbeck, they said Einbach. They called it one billy goat in the German, and thus the beer became known as Bock. I'll have Einbach, please. I'll have one billy goat worth of beer. Another theory suggests that the Druid monks chose to brew Bock beer in the period between December and January, which was under the astrological sign of Capricorn, also known as the goat. And that's how it got its name. The goat connection is often emphasized in talking about Bock history. In German, Bock means billy goat. The goats are cantankerous little fellows with a penchant for knocking unsuspecting humans onto their backsides with a swift, powerful headbutt. And the powerful dark brews have been knocking unsuspecting beer drinkers onto their backsides for several hundred years, making that connection. There's actually a brew pub in Philadelphia that every year, when they make their Bock, they have a race, a goat race. And the winner of the goat race, the Bock for that year is named after that particular winning goat. My favorite story, however, is about a knight and a brewmaster. There was once a knight who went to visit the Duke Christoph of Bavaria. He was served the beer of the local brewmaster, and he objected to its quality. And he roundly berated the brewmaster, and he made foul comments about his beer and said that it was not good. We don't know how the Duke Christoph responded to this, but the brewmaster was highly offended and took insult by it. And so, the offended brewer challenged the knight to a formal bout of drinking. The knight was supposed to bring a keg of his best beer from his country. He was from Brunswick in the north of Germany. And the brewmaster would supply a keg of his finest. And they would drink the beer each of the other and see who could win. At the appointed hour, with much fanfare and pageantry, because the Germans were always looking for an excuse to party, right? The contestants began by drinking several large flagons of the brew. And the knight continued to cast aspersions upon the brewmaster's work. More beer was consumed. It was beginning to look like a stalemate, so the brewmaster challenged the knight to a test of skill. After all this drinking, the first man who could thread a needle while standing on one foot would be declared the winner of the contest. And while the men were preparing to thread the needles, a pet billy goat came upon the scene. While the brewmaster quickly threaded his needle, the knight dropped his several times and wound up sprawled on the ground. Embarrassed, he tried to blame the billy goat for knocking him down. However, the triumphant brewmaster called out this famous saying, "The Bock you felled was brewed by the Bock that felled you was brewed by me." Forgive us our spillages as we forgive those who spill against us. Yes. The Bock that felled you was brewed by me, and with that we've had Bock beer ever since. As the arrival of Bock beer heralds the spring, let us now herald the arrival of the Bock. This is a call and response. I will give an invocation you should respond with, and also with Bock. With the spring there is new life.
And also with Bock.
With the spring the days are sunny and bright.
And also with Bock.
In the spring we celebrate life.
And also with Bock.
Spring and Bock. Bock and spring. With many Bocks we can solve anything. And
also with Bock.
And now let us bow our heads. Our brewer who dwelleth in the basement, hallowed be thy Bock. It will be drunk. I shall be drunk. At home as in the brew pub. Give us this day our malty goodness. Forgive us our spillages as we forgive those who spill against us. Lead us not into incarceration, but deliver us from hangovers. For thine is the Bock, the my Bock and the Doppelbock, but especially the don't talk Bock. Forever and ever. Amen. Bless this creature beer, which by kindness and power has been produced from the kernels of grain. May it be a healthful drink for mankind. Grant that whoever drinks it with thanksgiving will find it of help in body and soul. This is an ancient Roman blessing for the Bock. To the Yak and Yak, don't talk Bock, and Adam, our famous brewer.
Here,
Here, here.
Also
There
with
we go.
Bock.
And also with Bock.
Also with Bock.